Welcome to your CEO reset, where we burn the dead weight and we build the business that you want and desire for 2026.
Welcome to Inspiration Contagion, where we spread inspiration one story at a time. I am your host, Holly Jean Jackson. Each interview spotlights transformational business leaders, their stories, challenges, and advice for how you too can lead yourself and others through inspiration. Learn how you too can achieve peak performance, build more revenue, and lead the legacy you were meant to lead.
All right, y'all. I want to start by kicking this off with the year end, what I call burn list. And you can write this out and physically burn it in a ritual, which feels to me very satisfying. I like to journal all of the shit that I want to get rid of, everything I want to release. I might choose a full moon. I might choose the last day of the year. I might choose a special location to do this. I write it down. I go to a place where it's safe to burn it and I burn it. And as I burn it, I envision fully letting go of that to the universe, to the planet, just letting it leave my system, my energy, my soul, whatever you want to call that, on my year end burn list for you to consider so that we can get those creative juices flowing. Number one, distractions. How this world is so freaking full of distractions. It's so noisy out there. I feel like everybody's anxiety levels and stress levels are elevating and our satisfaction is just lowering because we're constantly distracted. We can't watch a movie or a show without playing on our phone, without doing something else. Find ways to be mindful and present and remove any distractions and notifications and technology you can to be present so that you can enjoy the journey. Number two, overscheduling. Stop getting busy. We actually build our lives we say yes to the things that are important to us and we say no to the things that are not, or we should. We get to do that. A lot of people are busy and they're busy with all the wrong things. They overschedule and overbook themselves constantly, and then there's no space and no room for the things that are actually important and inspire them. Stop overscheduling and overbooking yourself. As we get older and we mature in life, we actually need more rest so we can actually hear our intuitive voice and be aligned with that next step. And we can't hear that still quiet intuitive voice when we are constantly on the move and overbooked with priorities that we shouldn't be doing. That goes to number three, our misaligned commitments. And this is kind of overlapping with overscheduling, but part of why you're probably overbooked is you haven't been intentional about where you're spending your time and where you say yes and no to specific commitments. So I want you to really think through and maybe do an audit of your calendar and see, gosh, I spent this many hours at the gym. I spent this many hours doing business growth. I did this many hours on sales calls. I spent this much time with my family. Does that align to your top 5 life priorities? If the answer is no, that means this year we learned the hard way. And that means that we have an opportunity to start saying no to things that are on that misalignment list and then open up more spaciousness for rest, intuition, and really aligning to our actual life priorities. Let go of misaligned commitments. Number 4, negative mindset. This one's hard. It's tricky. Our brains are biologically just programmed to be negatives, and it's there for keeping us safe. But the reality is, in our modern times and our life today, a lot of the times that negativity bias and that negativity skew is a disservice. It's actually keeping us in fear, keeping us in fight or flight, releasing cortisol, all these stress hormones, and that creates inflammation and disease in the body. So the more we can reframe and release negative mindset, which requires us to be diligent about like mining the fields of our thoughts and being very intentional and reframing and reprogramming our thinking, but the more we can release these negative mindset and rabbit holes, the better we'll feel, the more energy we'll have. They're not helping you. All right, the next one, comparison. I talk about this all the time. I still struggle with it. We live in a world that's just full of so much noise about everybody living their best life on social media. We don't actually see the reality of somebody's life. We have no idea what they're walking through. And yet we compare ourselves to them constantly. So, comparison, the only thing that does is it leads to stress, it leads to despair, it leads to all these negative things that we're trying to release. So, instead of comparing yourself, realize they're on a different journey. You have no idea what's going on in their life, and just stick to comparing yourself today to where you were in the past. And the last thing I have on my list of releasing and burning, which I'm going to do that, y'all. I'm going to burn and do a ceremony, just burning all the stuff I want to let go of. And then I'm going to plant some seeds and speak life into those seeds for what I want to grow for 2026. I hope y'all do that too. The last thing is release fear and the comment or the statement of what if. When we say what if, a lot of times it goes to negativity bias. It's like, what if, and it's the worst case scenario. It's not a positive thing. It's not like, what if I won the lottery? What if I sent this route? What if business like grew 30% this year? If you are going to talk about what ifs, I want them to be positive scenarios. However, most people, because of fear, we do the negative what ifs. What if we go into a recession? What if I don't make it? What if I fail? Right? Y'all, next time you have what ifs, reframe it to a positive. What if I succeed? What if I grow during this economic recession? Like, whatever that is, let go of fear. Fear can teach us some healthy things, and there's a valid place for fear, but it is not supposed to be telling you how to live your life, and certainly not how to run your business. All right, so that's your burn list. I want you to come up with your own burn list. I want you to write it out. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to burn that shit. Get rid of it. You don't need it. Let's reset. Let's let go. And that brings us to our reset framework. Yes, let's reset. Let's get this going for 2026. So, in addition to planting those seeds, how do we get to the place of the seeds we want to plant? Well, I have a 5-step process for you. Number one, I want you to start with your why. I've been rereading the Simon Sinek book, so I can't say I came up with the process to start with why. However, I have for years used our life and business compass, which we'll talk about in a minute. And it has your life priorities, which we talked about, your business goals, your long-term why, right? But when we start with why, it begs the question of what do I value? What are my values as a business owner and human? What is my vision and mission in terms of who I'm serving and why am I doing and dedicating my life and company to this thing and to these people? What is that about? Why is that so important to you? Simon Sinek does this better than I will, but it speaks to when we sell and when we build connection and relationship, or even he gives the example of dating. If we actually showed up from the lens of why we do something, it sells and connects better to the right people who should be doing business with us or in a relationship with us. But when we sit there and just like name drop and talk about the what's that we do, that's not powerful. So start with why. Dig into your values, your vision, your mission, why you do what you do. Perhaps like you've been doing business for 8 to 20 years or something, and you've lost that connection to why. And if you're going into pivot calls or conversations with your team and you're not starting with why, you have a problem. Every conversation, every decision, every pivot in your business should start with your why. And if it's not, there is a problem. Number 2, build your compass. So we have a life and business compass we've been using for years with our clients. It's the first resource we give them. The reason is we want to stop overbooking ourselves. We talked about that on the burn list. How do you figure out what you don't book? Well, how do you figure out what's not aligned? Well, the Life and Business Compass shows you how to do that. So if you want a copy of that, let us know. It's our gift to you. The third step, I want you to do a day in the life of the future you in 2026, a visualization around perfect day. What does a perfect day for you look like? If you're living aligned to your why, if you've sufficiently done that burn list, if you are building the momentum you desire for 2026, what does that look like? And if you're feeling stuck on this, you don't know how to do visualizations or journaling around this, let us know. We have an audio for that that can guide you through that times. Send us a DM, we'll give you that. Number 4, map out your goals for the year. And I want you to include not just your goals for the year, but if it's a big goal, break it down into steps, like you're building out a project plan so that it's simple. The problem with New Year's resolutions is people build these lofty goals or lofty resolutions, but they don't break it down. So if our goals and resolutions are huge pie in the sky things, we need to break it down so we have a roadmap and a step-by-step action plan for how we're going to achieve that. And in addition, include some of your bucket list things in there. It shouldn't just be about your business. As the leader, we need to walk the talk of what we want from our employees and our clients, and that's to build a life that they love and to have a business that you love. Number 5, stick to the plan and take aligned action. Use your compass tool, use the why tool, use that visualization. Use the seeds you're going to plant as an outcome of this 5-step process and align with that. Take step by step action. And if you do, you will grow 1% every single day. And that means 365% in 2026. How freaking amazing is that here? All right. That was a lot. One thing I want to leave you with is for 2026, what is the scaling blueprint? A lot of people have asked me recently, Holly, what do you see for the future of leaders, the future of small business owners that people need to be paying attention to? What's the key focus for 2026? I have a few things that I wrote down when I was reflecting on this and journaling on it. Number 1 is you must align with your passion, your inspiration, and your why. There is a desire and a craving, especially with how much AI and technology is on the rise. People want to connect with real, authentic people. They want to buy from you, the leader. They want to buy from somebody who's aligned and it's not fake. It's not a robot. It's not something in the sky. So align with that, and that will help set you above the bar from everyone else. Number 2 is authentically and intentionally use AI and technology to support step 1, your why and your mission. But be careful and be cognizant. And I've talked in the past with a publisher that we brought on as guests here about how certain things you don't necessarily want to use AI because you want to protect your intellectual property. So be intentional, be thoughtful, be practical. Don't be afraid of AI, but be intentional with how you use it, and you will benefit from this, but you will also remain authentic. And that's going to be a differentiator from most people out there. Number 3 is a reminder to invest in your business always, even during political and economically turbulent times. Even when things are uncertain, it just means you need to triple down on your strategy and think outside of the box and be creative to remain relevant. The worst thing you can do is put your head in the sand and say, oh, I'm just going to wait this out. Well, guess what? You might not actually have any runway or any financial capital to ride it out. To stay relevant, you have to stay awake and open. And that means taking action still and investing in your business. All right. As we wrap up 2025, I want to invite each of you to step into 2026 with clarity, with courage, big ass courage. So brave. I want to see so many brave change makers, leaders, heart centered badasses out there. And with a mindset of a leader that sees hope and brilliance in this world. If you love this, please share it with somebody else. Please subscribe to our channel. Please follow us, and please send any comments on future content you'd like to see. We value your listenership, and we value you as part of our community. Thank you, and Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining the show today. I hope you were inspired. More importantly, I hope you take action. If the show inspired you, I ask that you subscribe and share it with your network. Let's spread inspiration together today.